better than ever. And I know right now that I'm going somewhere and I need some cheddar. Oh, baby, better
Just think
not
about
go.
if you were in their shoes, and what do you look for on LinkedIn? Like, what's of value to you, or what's of value? Ask your executives, what do they go on LinkedIn for to learn about? And how can you use this as a marketing tool and a marketing channel for you to build? But a lot of people use it as a sales mechanism. And again, not many people are there to sell. So client wins, thought leadership, lessons learned. That's something that, humanizes you a lot too. And I'll touch on that later at the end of this about a couple of posts recently for me. But just like, what lessons are you learning? Because a lot of times we'll get sales reps who are like, hey, I'm like 24 out of college. Like, what am I going to talk about? Like, I don't I don't know how businesses work. I don't work with a lot of businesses. And just tell your story. Just share, like, hey, like, here's something I'm really working on, or here's a big win I had, or a big hurdle I overcame after going through some adversity of overcoming objections. Just whatever it is, just start to put yourself out there, and then you're going to attract people to your network, and then eventually that's going to lead to opportunities when what you have to offer is a fit for them. You could also share some of your company content, because if you look on LinkedIn, a company's page can get less likes, less engagement than a personal page, because we relate more. When we see a company post something, it just seems like an ad, or seems like, like a sales message or marketing message. But when a person posts, like, you're gonna, like, you buy from people, you connect with people. So if the more you could either tell the story or reshare the content or comment on content, like, those are all things. So that's a good way to get started. If your executives, and they should be, if your executives are posting, comment on that, reshare that. Like, that's a good, easy way to get started until you gain the confidence or kind of understand like what your voice is on LinkedIn and start using it that way. The third is engaging. So engage with your prospects, engage with people that comment on your stuff. There's, I wouldn't say hacks, but there's LinkedIn rewards you when you're using it the way that it's designed to. So it's supposed to be a networking tool. So if you give a thoughtful comment, one, that's going to stand out to an executive for you, but two, you're going to get more engagement if you reply back to people that respond to yours. So don't, if someone replies, at least minimum say thanks, but maybe give a comment back and start to, have some dialogue. LinkedIn rewards that and serves that to more people, because it shows like, oh, people are engaging in this. This must be valuable content. We need to share it with more people. And your goal is just to get in front of more eyeballs. Like, you're not paying much for it, if anything. So it's just like, if you put up an ad or put up a billboard, like, here's your chance to get in front of more people. And so you're trying to give yourself the best odds to get in front of more people. So engaging with comments, and then going back to executives, like, a lot of them post. And if you look at the number of comments they get, it's probably less than like 3 or 4. And so when someone comments on one of my posts, that stands out to me. Like, I remember that. So if you were going to comment on another executive's post, then they're going to see that. That name recognition is going to help, and then the response rates, the reply rates are going to go up because they know who you are and everything like that. So these are just modern tools that you can use to engage people. On LinkedIn, you can also leave voice notes and video messages. Video is one of the things I start with. I lead with video message. Data shows, if you're doing cold outreach, it's probably best in like the 7th or 8th touch point once you've done some email. So people have different theories on it, but that's a good way to cut through the noise. I was actually talking to someone less looking to get make sales, but more stand out to recruiters and looking to break into sports. And I said, send a video message. And he was like, a video? I'm like, what do I talk about in a video message? I'm like, just imagine people just submit their application and that's it. And then some people send an email, which just gets lost in email, which that still puts you ahead. I usually reach out to most of those people. Less than 1%, if not even less, if less than that, are actually going to send a video. So imagine you're the one out of the 300-400 people that send a video. Like, there's a really good chance you're at least going to get a call back, or an opportunity to interview for that role. So same with sales. Like, that's a good way to stand out. So on the mobile app, you go to a message. If you're connected to somebody, there's a paper clip. You can do a voice note or you can do a video, and you can send it right there. And I try and keep it under 50 seconds, high level. Hey, here's who I am. here's what we're seeing out in the market for people like you. Here's how we help people. If you're interested in learning more, either message me back, or always try and direct them back to an email, because I'm going to send an email to in my cadence. So just make it easy for them, but not like, hey, I have tickets. We sell tickets. We sell season tickets to businesses. We think your business could do season tickets. Like, save that for, the meeting, the conversation, everything like that. This is just trying to get out there and another touch point to stand out. And again, cut through in a crowded market. So to win in 2026, you need to be on LinkedIn. At minimum, you need to be consuming and seeing what you're connecting with your network of prospects and clients and seeing what they're posting. So at least that triggers a reason for you to reach out, or you kind of see what's going on in the business. But I really challenge everyone at minimum once a month and just get in that consistent habit to post something on LinkedIn. So like I mentioned, we talk about it in our trainings, and that's one of the things that's really stood out and resonated with people, is that just getting more active and posting on LinkedIn. So with the Trailblazers, like, that's the success story that we tell to every single team. There was a rep on their team. She said, I want to start posting more on LinkedIn. And we're like, great, like, here's best practices, tips. A lot of people say it. Very few people actually do it. She did it. One of her prospects saw it. It wasn't even like a sales post. It was something like her at a golf tournament with her bosses and some prospects. No ask at the end of it. One of her prospects said, hey, I'd love to talk to you about the upcoming season. They had a couple meetings and they closed a $70,000 deal. And so, people are closing, high 5-6-figure deals from, using LinkedIn as a tool. So I'm obviously aware this isn't going to happen for every single person you talk to, but this is an opportunity for you to get out there more and start to use it to gain prospects and just start to build your business. So analogy we give a lot is just imagine that, we said there's 25, 30 VPs of sales going to be standing over there, like in the crowd, or they're going to be at a game. You got the opportunity to talk to them. Like, would you take it? And if you did, what would you talk about? Like, look at LinkedIn the same way. Like, what would you talk about to that group? You're not going to say, hey, buy tickets. Like, you're going to talk about how you work with other people. You're going to share what's working with other people, trends that you're seeing and things like that for people like them. Like, same thing on LinkedIn. So someone asked me actually in a training this week, like, when should they start seeing results from LinkedIn? And I said, it depends. One, it depends on kind of the network that you've built and like you've curated and like who are your prospects. But you could see some short-term wins. Like, just the fact that you're starting to get out there more, like, that's going to stand out. People are going to notice that. So you could see short-term, but really it's a mid to long-term play, and you're investing in yourself. So if you're going to be in your market for a while and you plan to like really hone and like build relationships and market, and I talk a ton about AI and how that's going to take away the admin task. So you could spend more time engaging with people and networking or doing things on LinkedIn and stuff like that, because now AI can handle some of that administrative, just repetitive stuff. Like, why wouldn't you invest in it? Why wouldn't you do that? So if there are friends of yours you're worried about, or coworkers, and be like, oh, who's this person think they are? Like, some might. Like, there's just haters out there. That's just how it is. But again, we say those people don't pay your bills. The people that pay your bills are the prospects and clients that are going to buy tickets from you, or buy suites from you, or buy partnerships from you. So really think about that more than, oh, I hope I don't look silly to my network, or whatever it may be. So that's how you're going to win in 2026. Everyone's I actually did a training a couple weeks ago, and I said, who's on LinkedIn? Everyone raised their hand. I said, who posts? They're like, how often? I said, at least once a month. Every single hand went down. So there's 1.2 billion people on LinkedIn. Less than 1% of those people post. So everyone's there, and here's your chance to really stand out. And it seems like it's saturated, but like, there are so little people that post. There's still an opportunity to really make an impact. And if you're the one, or maybe two sports sellers in your team or in your market that's like really educating and really starting to build a brand out in the business community, like, people are going to notice that. And if you're consistent, you're going to start to drive revenue. So every episode I like to do shout outs and things that stood out to me. So I want to shout out Matt Carrillo. He's our contact we work with at the Atlanta Hawks. So we've been working with them over the past few months, and I saw this week a bunch of his reps hit their sales goals this year. So I'll take some credit for that. But no, they have a great team. The Hawks have been, one of like the gold standards as it relates to like ticket sales, best practices. And what I appreciate about them is they're not complacent. Like they're, looking and forward thinking, and they're like, all right, how do we implement AI, and how do we coach everyone to use AI, and how do we take that next step? And so, I have a session with them, coming up here, but they're really looking to continue to elevate. And as they build their brand and have more events and things like that, they're looking for ways to differentiate from the market internally, but then also the community. So shout out to Matt and those who've hit their goal. And I know a lot of MBA reps are coming up to that point where they're going to start hitting it. So I'm sure I'll see more on LinkedIn. And what stood out to me today, I made a post, and this goes back to what I talked about being vulnerable and open and everything like that. I posted today 3 things I do different as a first-time VP of sales. And the things I said was I would, be more involved actively selling, run my business more like an owner versus just a department head, and then owner of the team versus a department head, and then do a better job communicating up and like telling that story. I'm an introvert, and so I like to let my work speak for me. But then when you do that, people around you and above you start to create their own stories, and you don't control the narrative. So I shared that. But what stood out is, that's something that got a ton of engagement because I was being open, I was being human, a lot of likes, a lot of profile views from it and everything like that, some comments. So that's where I talk about like trying to humanize yourself in the process and using LinkedIn. Like there's opportunities. Like that wasn't like, oh, look at this new client I signed, or, call me today to help your team sell more tickets. It was like, no, like here's something that could help people who are looking to be VPs one day, or maybe you're currently in a VP role. Maybe you got let go from a VP role, whatever it may be. Like these are things that I learned, and hopefully people could take some of those lessons and apply it so they can speed up the learning curve or not go through some of the mistakes that I did. So just, being open to sharing more than just your team. And it really starts with leadership too. Some teams we've talked to, they're like, oh, we don't let people post on LinkedIn. It's like, well, it's their LinkedIn page. So, but it really starts with leadership and like setting that tone and like being active and being out there. So for leaders out there, I encourage you all to do that, which now you're setting the example, giving air cover to your staff so that they feel confident and comfortable when they go do it. So like I say at the end of every episode, if this stood out to you, like it on YouTube. If this is something that stood out or you think someone could really use, share this with somebody. Subscribe to the page if you want to get other updates and episodes and everything like that. And like I tell my daughters every morning when I drop them off at school, go be awesome today, and I'll be back next week with another video.
That's nothing. I'ma be doing this and I'm gonna be head hunting. Oh baby, don't know. Oh baby, don't go. Oh baby, don't know. Oh baby, don't go.